So we all woke up this morning not feeling wonderful, which of course Sherry loves because she has to now deal with 3 whining children, me being the 3rd. So school this morning is happening on the floor. Anyways, so I went to the grocery store to pick up some smoothie stuff, and while I'm picking up the smoothie stuff, I find out we have sold our blender and our immersion blender, and we don't have a blender left. So enter smoothie stuff 1, smoothie stuff 2, and some leftover vitamin E green stuff that we have downstairs. Are you enjoying your smoothie right now, Jag? And I haven't had coffee yet this morning, so I'm gonna make the smoothie stuff here and my coffee, because why not? Sherry had a coffee this morning, and it was one of the Keurigs. So let's make some juice with some vitamins in it. This one's a strawberry banana flavor. We've got a green thing. I don't really know what's in it. Normally I'd put frozen fruit in there, but I don't have any frozen fruit because I don't have this blender anymore, because we sold our blender. And apparently we sold our immersion blender too. Oops, we did that a little bit too soon. In the process of selling the house, getting rid of everything, traveling the world. It's kind of like camping in your own house. House is for sale too, but it hasn't sold yet. So, got some green stuff. Stick that in there. Gonna be super tasty. Got some vitamin C stuff. This is the powdered vitamin C. And beetroot powder. And you say, why are you using all this stuff? Well, they're in the cupboard downstairs, and we're either throwing them out if I don't use them. So there we go. Super tasty. Apparently the beetroot powder stuff actually like helps your circulatory system, which I don't know. I like circulatory systems. So I did find this in the cupboard. So let's see if we can make that all go together. I mean, it is fun drinking chunks and all, but cheers. Not bad. All right, time to make some coffee. Sherry, you want a coffee?
Yeah.
The interesting thing about coffee is I never actually had a cup of coffee until I was 39 years old. 39 years old. I was Mr. Anti-Coffee because I would always say that it tasted like licking the pavement. And then my wife slowly introduced coffee into my life, and now I have to make my own, because why do something half when you can do it full? Got our little travel to pour over mug. Anyways, so I got my little portable grinder. This thing's awesome. And this particular bag of coffee, Sherry's sister bought for us. And it is really tasty. It says that it has dark chocolate hints, cloves, and pepper. It's superbly balanced. Creme de la creme French roast, a dark, sweet caramel spiciness, a flavor with a pleasant peppery nip at the end. A peppery nip! I can't wait for the peppery nip. It's actually really good. But anyways, I gotta get water on. Got water. So, this is a 1 cup 1 grind grinder, and it's manual. So I get to work on my muscles and grind. And it's usually like 106 spins before it grinds. Not that I count every time. Yes, Sherry, I do actually count how many grinds. I try to get it under 100, but it's usually 106, 107. I didn't start counting this time because I'm talking. But anyways, the goal is to get them all ground before the water boils. So I got 1.5 liters of water in there, and quarter gallon-ish, or 2/5 of a gallon. Anyways, get both cups ground, And I've got my little metal pour over single serving coffee filter. Those things are sweet because then I never have to have filters, because I don't like going to buy filters, plus I don't like the papery taste from the thing. So anyways, give it a little knock, and the coffee is there in the bottom. Okay. Do a little grindy grind. Oh yeah, I did tell you I'd make you a smoothie. I totally forgot. I gotta make Myles a smoothie. Oh, did I make you? No, I made myself a smoothie. Did you want mine, Myles? No? We don't have a blender, bud. We don't have a blender. No, we sold it. We got coffee. We've got some smoothie mix that I just bought. And now we've got... Okay, I'll make you one in a minute. I'll just make it. You want to taste Jack's? Okay, it's that green, it's that blue cup right there. No, you can tell me if you like it or not. Do you like that smoothie?
Yes.
Do you want that exact one?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm gonna make him the same one.
I love you.
My whispering doesn't work very well. The anticipation is just too much when you're grinding coffee. All right, now because my water isn't quite boiled yet, I actually let this sit for a little bit so that it kind of dries off the grinding wheel, and then I don't have to clean it nearly as much. Oh, and this is what's for dinner tonight. I'm gonna do up some barbecue ribs. Come on, water. And it's funny, while we wait for the water, I found it so interesting learning. I've been going over sort of the new things that I've learned lately, like coffee. You know, first you have just a cup of coffee and it's like, oh no, all coffee is good. You just add enough cream and sugar to it and it tastes incredible. But that's not actually true, because there'll be a good cup and then there'll be a bad cup, and it's like, well, what makes the difference between a good cup and a bad cup, and how do I make a good cup or a bad cup? And so I made a lot of bad coffee. I bought probably 5 different filter options. I didn't have one of these for a while. This thing is indispensable because when you're doing pour over, you really want to let the pour do its thing over the beans. Anyways, and then we had you remember those magic bullets, those blenders? We had one of those that we tried to grind coffee beans in. It didn't work. So this thing was expensive. This thing was like $85 or something like that. It's the Time More C2 coffee grinder, but it, like, you get to dial your grind and you can try around. I have mine finer than coarser because I like a really strong, bold blend apparently. So anyways, we had probably a week and a half where we were trying different blends of coffee, different grinds. I was pouring over 3 or 4 cups a morning just to see what would work, what would taste good, what I liked. So this is what I've settled on. I like a bold, sort of more towards the espresso blend in the coffee bean. The other ones that I have here at the moment are a barista coffee Viennese roast. Sometimes you're in a pinch and you have to go to the grocery store. And then the Kicking Horse coffee was quite good. This is the Three Sisters. It's a bit light for me. I like the Kick-Ass blend a little bit better. It's bolder. Jack really likes the name of that, the Kick Donkey blend. It does give you a good kick in the morning. Yes, Myles, that type of kick. Myles, can you give me the kick again? What kind of kick were you talking? Perfect. That's my ninja, Myles. Alrighty, so our water is steaming away here. You can, if you want, warm this thing up. But there is definitely a learning process to anything in life, and it's really fun to pick up new things and learn new things and and apply them, especially when they taste good. One of the things I learned a while back was how to make barbecue ribs, because I really liked restaurant ribs, but I didn't like paying for them, and truthfully I didn't like the oven. What's the thing? It's like you know, they do them in the oven and then they finish them with a sauce. Well, I prefer a slow roasted, you know, 4-hour 225 degree wood-fired barbecue kind of thing. So anyways, so what I've learned here in the coffeeing, let me just switch this around here. You got the roast there, and what you want to do is you want to let the beans air out. So there's the nitrogen that happens within the grinding process, or within the roasting process, I should say. And so you want to just make sure there's enough water to saturate your beans. I'm sure there's going to be some people who know better than I. This is what I've learned. And I am imperfect. That's okay. Anyways, you want to get it nice and wet, and then you want to let it sit for like 30 seconds. So you let the water just soak into the beans, and you want a nice bloom on your coffee. And then you start to see these air bubbles come up. So just for the sake of this, give it a little jiggle, which you can do in your single roaster. Oh yeah, these are really nice mugs too, our little our Yetis. They keep us warm, because I take forever to drink a cup of coffee after I take forever to make it. You're like, well, I don't have time for this in the morning. Well, I don't know that I do either, but make it work. Anyways, once you get a nice bloom on it, then you can fill her out right to the top of this particular. The reason this kettle pour over thingy is so nice is because it delivers the water down into the beans really smoothly, so you don't get these channels in your beans, because then the water drains through the beans without actually getting a whole lot of flavor. And I'm not a big fan of paying a lot of money for coffee beans and then not getting the most flavor. I like flavor. So this thing does one cup of coffee, and so if I'm doing 2 cups, guess what? I gotta fill this thing up twice. It's the sound of awakeness. So you see here on this one on the right how the grounds have kind of made a hole here down into the filter. So our beans are going to be filtering through this, or our water is going to be filtering down through this hole in the beans, and so I give it a little jiggle to even out the beans again, because you don't want to make channels. Were you trying to roll up the stairs, Myles?
Yep. Now I'm going to go down the stairs. I don't know if this is going to end out well, though, Daddy. Okay.
Now, you can really see if you got all the flavor out based on the color of the drips that are coming out of the bottom. So you pick it up and you see they're nice and light, like a light oak color. And if I tap it, you see you get a much darker drip. So I like to do that a couple times just to get the last few drops of flavor out. And there you are, left with one delicious. I had a bit of vanilla flavor to mine, and Sherry likes just a touch less. So that one's mine. That one's Sherry's. And because we can, throw some cream in there. That's good. Now I gotta prep ribs for dinner. Can you tell me about your science lessons?
Yeah. I've been learning about atoms. I've done atoms, but they're in everything. They're even in your body. And these new cars I got.
Do they have atoms in them?
Yes. And do you know atoms are so small you can't even see them, even with the best microscope? One more thing. Do you know, so there's these things called H2O, or you might know that as water, which means there's one oxygen in water and two O's, which I forget what that is. There's one of them, which I forget its name, that if you know that water puts out fire, these ones, if they get wet, they catch on fire. Now I'm learning on the human body.
What's your favorite part of the human body?
So far, there's this thing in your brain that tells you if you're afraid. So if you have been frozen in fear, that's because you're in so much fear that I think your body can't really handle, that thing can't really handle it, that much fear. And your body doesn't know what to do because you're like so scared, so you freeze in fear.
Can you give me a freeze in the middle of the floor? Just like that? And that's Myles, frozen in fear. Thanks, Myles. He's frozen and falls over now. Now I'm going to, even though it is only 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to prep my ribs for this evening. So I've got my ribs, and I'll probably put them on around 2 o'clock for 6 o'clock dinner. But we need to make a rub, and we need to make it taste good. So we're gonna do that. I've got some ginger, I've got some garlic, I got this chipotle mango seasoning, which is really quite tasty. And then, ooh, smoldering smoked applewood, yummy. Oh, that's probably, oh, do I have chili in here? I have some cayenne. Yeah. Ground chipotle chili pepper. And then we need salt and pepper. And we need some brown sugar. So we make a rub first. Make sure we always want some salt and pepper in there. I would put like just a handful of salt in there, but I don't have that anymore. I only have this grinder left while we're moving out of our house. Throw some pepper in there. And I just do the smell and check. So does it smell like it's going to go together with the rest of the stuff? Yes, it does. So we'll put some applewood smoked bacon. No, not bacon. Applewood smoked smoldering. Ooh, smoldering. You can just smell it smoldering. We got some chipotle mango. I really like this one. I use it on a lot of stuff. And then we top up with some hot chipotle. Kids love the hotness. They don't. The kids don't love the hot part. Put some garlic salt in there. Now we just have one rack today, so we don't need all that much. Put a little bit of ginger in. Give it some dimension of flavor. And then some brown sugar because I like my ribs sweet. Now this would be what you would call a dry rub. Start by flipping it over. And generously cake our seasoning over. A little bit. I guess I'm going to put some on the back. like that. That's what you call massaging your meat. These edges here get really tasty after you barbecue them, so I usually like to put some on the edge there. Then, the ribs are ready. Put on the barbecue. You want to put them on for about 225 to 235, and you want to start them a good 3 hours before you're going to eat. So, what you learn, Myles?
Spanish. Cinco. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. No, cuatro.
I mean, that's not too bad.